Oh, the weather outside is weather. Hello, happy holidays. Welcome to Do You Want Fries with That? The only podcast where we talk about all of the hot gossip and juiciest stories firsthand from those working in the customer service industry. Because we've all had those days that made us want to quit. I'm your host, Elana Rose, and I'm here to serve up your tea, piping hot. Happy holidays, everyone. Or if you work in the customer service industry, holidays. Happy eventually. Welcome. 'Tis the season. That's right, we just had Thanksgiving. We're about to roll out into the holidays. As the Grinch would say, gifts. Gifts. Gifts, 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 gifts. I want a dolly, I want a bike, I want a pony that I could ride twice and get bored and sell it to make glue. Yes, 'tis the season. And there's no better time than right now to incorporate my segment that I would like to call Sip and Spill, where I sip all of that hot tea you're spilling. And I lap it up just like a dog out of a bowl. Because I just need more. So I can feel like I'm not alone in my feelings of the holidays. Yes, working in the customer service industry during the holidays, you get some good stories. And I'm going to read some of your guys' stories today. No better place to look on the internet than Reddit itself. So I am taking some customer service stories during the holidays that I'm going to read for you today. If you would like to submit your own customer service horror story, please feel free to email us at the link in our link tree, and I will share your story on one of our Sip and Spill sessions. So today we're talking holidays. We're talking customer service and what is more holiday specific than retail. Yes, glorious retail. Now everyone in customer service has it bad during the holidays. People are impatient. People want things now, now, now. I feel like the presence of the internet and Amazon and everything else that makes life quicker has progressed us into this place of just wanting everything immediately, and no one has patience to wait. During the holidays, it's supposed to be a time where we are forgiving each other. We are forgiving ourselves. We are giving grace. We are patient. We're supposed to be seeing things from another perspective, being more empathetic, if you will. It's a time for giving, right? But people forget about the part before that, which is the getting. Everyone needs to get something. They need to get places on time. They need to get to the airport. They need to get the gifts. They need to get. Gifts. And because of that, I think we've all become a little less patient with people who are just trying to help us. So, we're going to really focus on retail today. My first job was in retail at my local mall. Yes, the local mall where teens run wild without supervision, where Aunt Anne's submerges through every pore of your body, and where self-esteem goes to die. A perfect place for a 15-year-old to have her first job. And I had my first job working at, let's see if you can guess it. It was a PacSun. A PacSun. Yes, where their business model was just as bad as their clothing sizes. Working at PacSun as my first job, I think mentally prepared me for what customer service was going to be like. But I didn't know exactly how PacSun structured their business model, like a lot of retail places do. If you've worked in retail before, you know. It's almost like they try to pit coworkers against each other to be the best. It's a little bit different in serving because you have your own tables. You have your own guests that come in and your focus is on them and they will tip you accordingly. In retail, management, specifically at PacSun, made it very clear that your name had to be on everyone's mouth who came in. Every guest, you wanted them to say your name when they went up to check out. To be like, who helped you today? Oh, it was Elana. She was so great. And if you did not get enough people to say your name, you would be in trouble. Management would come to you and be like, only one person said your name today. Cynthia over there, 10 people said her name. Okay. Got it. So it really is a sales model that you have to be pushy with. And I never liked that. I just never got that. But that was what it was at PacSun. They had the sales model where if you were working at the front, it was the hardest because you were the person that they first saw and you would greet them. Half the time people would be like, oh, thanks so much. And the other good portion of the time people would just walk past you and be like, yeah, whatever. I'm here to shop. Not be barraged by smiles. And it's funny because customer service is that whole model of you have to be as bubblegum, smiley, happy as possible. But so often, guests feel like it is they feel like you are bombarding them with kindness. And I don't know why people get pissed off by that, but they do. It's like these two things don't connect when they're supposed to. That's like the whole business model. We're supposed to be nice to you and you're in turn supposed to be nice to us back. But the thing about working at PacSun was that PacSun was a place that if you worked at the front of the store, you probably had the hardest time of the day because you'd be the first person that they see, but you would be the last person they remember because they're seeing all these other people as they go through the store because the whole business model was that you had to be the name that the guest said when they got up to the front. So you could just check the little box. There was a box at the cashier station that when people were checking out, you had to press that was like, who helps them today? You had to give a name. You had to press a name on the cash register in order to process this person through. It had everyone's name who worked in the store. And they had to give you a name. Silly. I don't know if they do that anymore. I don't even know if PacSun's still around. I should have looked that up. I think they were close to closing. I don't know if they closed or not. But PacSun, you had to give them a name. If you worked at the front, you had the worst time. Because everyone was competing to be the name. The people who worked in the dressing rooms had the best chance of getting their name said. You had the easiest job of the day. Because someone would come up to the dressing room, be like, oh, hi, I'm Elana. If you need anything, I'll help you out today. Do you know how many times I was taught that in that dressing room, I had to go up and be like, hi, I'm Elana. Oh, your top is so cute. Let me get you some pants that'll match that. Let me get you a hat that I think would look really good with that. Let me get you some jewelry that would be really, really cute with that top. They wanted us to upsell like crazy. And because they wanted us to upsell like crazy, I would have to invade people's personal space and be like, come on out, girly pop. Let me see that dress on you. Oh, that dress looks so cute. You know what would look really good with that dress? You know what would make that dress just awesome? This pair of socks over here. I don't know why socks just came to mind. This pair of white socks with a little sneaker would look so cute with that dress. Let me go get them for you and let me see you try them on. We were so pushy at PacSun. PacSun, there was this girl who was so good at it though. I gotta give her props. I think her name was like Cassandra or something. It was something with a C. Cassie maybe. And she was the best at it. She made invading people's personal space look so easy. She was so bubblegum nice that I would just watch her work the dressing room. Each guest, she was so good at it. But I somehow was just like, I don't really want to be looking at this person and telling them what I think they need. Because in fairness, I didn't know anything about style. I didn't know anything about clothing. It was my first retail job. I didn't know what looked good together. I was 15. I was wearing jorts until I was like 12. I didn't know what style was. And at PacSun, it was kind of like, everything was like, ooh, it had to be like fashion forward. It had to be like stylistic and all this stuff. I didn't know anything about any of this stuff. I just was flying by the seat of my pants. And I would tell someone what I think would look good with their outfit, and I had no idea. I would just bring them a flannel. Half the time, I would bring them a flannel. Because I'm like, oh, a flannel would look good with that. Half the time, I was correct. Flannels work with a lot of things. But upselling was a huge part of that. And if you worked the dressing room, your name was usually said up at the front. The other person who had a pretty good time up at the front was the cashier. Because as a cashier at PacSun, if it was a slow day, there wasn't very many people working. If someone just came in and they didn't want to try anything on and they were just buying a gift, guess what? If they said no one helped them, or if they were like, yeah, I just came in really quick, person at the front said hi, you could put your own name down as the cashier. You'd be like, oh, no one helped them. I guess it's me. I did that a lot. But it was so silly because I think the manager would every shift, and she was, oh my goodness. I don't think I've been ever scared of a manager as much as I was of this little lady who was my manager at PacSun. Granted, I'm also tall, so I'm 5'10". I was tall at 15. I was tall in high school. And I towered over this lady. And she scared the ever-loving shit out of me. She was a scary woman. And she was very intense about the name numbers. If you had your name said, you were like praised. I swear this Cassie girl was always at number one. She was always number one. Everyone wanted to be as good as Cassie. She was always number one. She would get her name said, praised every day by this manager. Well, Cassie got 1,400 people saying her name this week, so you all need to step up a little bit. I don't even know what you got. I don't think you got anything. I think you just got praise, maybe a gift card. I have no clue what you ever got if you got your name said enough times, because I didn't, so I never got that praise. But they were very strict about that there, and it made me very fearful that all jobs are like that. They're not. The other thing that PacSun did that I hated as a 15-year-old was that I, as a part-time employee, literally had to be on call on all the days I didn't work. Another business model that if you're not a doctor, don't do it. It is ridiculous to expect an employee to just hold all their days off for you. Granted, I was 15. Okay, sure. I needed the money, kind of. I was living at home. It was cash for the summer. I could care less if I was called in or not. But I think the model in any other case, it would just be so silly because you couldn't say no. You couldn't say no. If you got called in, you had to go. You had to go to work. And the last thing I wanted to do on my Saturday was going to PacSun. Was to get that phone call on my little first cell phone, and I would see it. I would see it coming because it said PacSun on it. And I'd be like, oh no, they're calling me. And you had to answer it. Hello? Hi, Madison called out today. Can you come in at noon? You couldn't say no. Okay, I'll be there at noon. Great, we'll see you then. Nightmare. PacSun was my first ever job. Working in retail was my first ever job. Right after PacSun, I moved on over to the stepping stone of the retail world at the mall, which was American Eagle. It was like the next step. It was like, oh, what's after PacSun? My big break, American Eagle. So I worked at American Eagle. When I tell you, working American Eagle during the holidays, and I did. I worked during Black Friday at American Eagle. Working American Eagle during Black Friday made me never want to see physically another pair of jeans ever again in my life. That jean wall that they make so nice, that jean wall that looks pristine and clean all the time, it's because some schmuck, me, would have to precisely and neatly fold every pair to the exact measurements on this little board and put them back into the wall to make sure they were filled to the brim without any creases, any folds that were out of place. No, no, no. Not that jean wall. They cared too much about that jean wall. And I was the fateful person on Black Friday who had to work that jean wall. And you know, the jean wall, they usually have an attendant on that wall because the standard is so high to keep everything neat and clean and organized and looking pristine. On Black Friday, do you know what people do to the jean wall at American Eagle? They come in quick. Everything's fast. Everything has to be all over. Everyone's all over the place. Come in quick, looking for their size, because Black Friday is probably buy 3, get 10 free. I don't know. The deals at American Eagle on Black Friday are crazy with the jeans because they love their jeans. They would come in and they would attack that jean wall like it was the last pair of jeans they would ever buy. And they would attack that jean wall and hunt for their size so fast. You're pulling jeans out the lovely stacks. You're pulling them out. And you're throwing them on the floor, on the ground, haphazardly. Because it's Black Friday. Who cares, right? You have people throwing them all over the place. I would come in and I'd be like, oh, well, let me fix this stack. Let me fix this stack. And it honestly would just be better if you pull out jeans and just hand them to me. Because if you try to refold them and put them back in that wall, guess who's fixing it? Me. Because no one knows how to fold jeans the way that you're quote unquote supposed to fold jeans. Because that's crazy. Why would I expect a guest to fold a jean the way that American Eagle expects their jeans to be folded? It was like a whole system. I for years, I think I subconsciously was just folding my jeans like that. I'm like, why the hell am I folding jeans? I'll hang them like a normal person. Anyway, American Eagle, Black Friday, never wanted to see a jean again. I also worked American Eagle during a time, it was still seasonal. I was just a seasonal employee there. Man, that was just a crazy time. I was a seasonal employee there, and I'd just gotten my wisdom teeth out too. And when I got my wisdom teeth out, there was a night where they were, I don't know what it's called, but it's like where you redo the store. You like move everything. Retail places do this like seasonally or a few times a year to keep it interesting. And it's not like they change their stock anyway, but no, they have to keep the store looking new and exciting and different. So I think they were doing it for the holidays. I had just gotten my wisdom teeth out, and I was scheduled, because they do it at night. They do these clothing things at night. So when there's no customers there, when there's no guests in the store, so that you can just redo the whole store. And you do it in one night. It's not 2 nights. You're like Santa. You come in and change the whole store in one night. Ho, 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 ho. Ha, 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 ha. So fun. Are these stories triggering me? It's taking me back to a time. Okay. So, I came in, it was probably like 9 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. to help come change this store. My face swollen. My eyes are like close to closing because I just had my wisdom teeth taken out. So I'm in severe pain. I'm on some sort of drugs. I don't know what drugs I'm on. And I'm in this store and I'm on a ladder hanging stuff. And I'm like, I'm gonna fall and break something. And I think I remember very specifically telling management that I'd just gotten my wisdom teeth out, so that maybe I probably shouldn't come in. And what did they tell me? Well, we kind of need everybody to come because it's a big project and everybody needs to be there so that blah, 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 blah. It was not a fun season. The only reason I stopped working in retail was because of Urban Outfitters. My third transition into the mall biome. The mall ecosystem had a hold on me before I went to college. I was like, I'll just be working at these different places in the mall until I leave and go and get a degree. And I went to apply for a summer job at Urban Outfitters, and they had hired me. I was going to work there for the summer. I was really excited because I liked Urban Outfitters. I really liked it was coming into my sort of fashion style where I was like, oh, it's hip and cool and trendy and whatever. All my friends liked it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll have an in. Again, another place I'll have an in. And I remember specifically being traumatized by this experience because I was 17 at this time. And I was going to start my job there that week. I get a call from the hiring manager, whoever I was talking to. And they call me and they're like, hey, so actually we're not going to be able to hire you. I was like, why? Why not? You said it was all good to go. I brought in my ID and everything. We did the whole spiel. Well, because it actually looks like on your record something came up and we just can't hire you. I was like, I was 17. I had never been in trouble. I had never done anything bad. I was a pretty good kid. I was a pretty vanilla kid. I didn't have a rebellious awakening phase at that time. And I was like, can you just tell me what it is that you found? And they're like, no, sorry, we can't disclose that information. Okay, bye. It was about that long of a conversation. And I broke. I cried. I had a panic attack. I was like, what's on my record? What aren't they telling me? Did someone steal my social security number and are doing bad things and it's affecting my record and it's going to affect me for the rest of my life? And then someone tells me, actually, that happens sometimes. Sometimes at retail places, they'll overhire. And instead of being an adult, being a grown-ass adult, and calling and being like, hey, we actually hired too many people, we're not going to move forward with you, they will lie to you and make up a reason why they can't hire you. I was like, so you're telling me these people just decided to tell a 17-year-old kid that there was something on her record, that's why they couldn't hire her, when in reality, they just overhired and they didn't want to look bad and stupid, so they just lied. So Urban Outfitters, you were the reason I don't work in retail anymore. After that, I switched on over to working in food service, and that's where it continued. So at that point, it was my transitionary period. But I have made this episode too much about me. We're supposed to be making this about you guys. So we're going to jump right in to a little bit of tea. That's right. I searched the internet, the interwebs, for some good stories to share with you all from Reddit about working during the holidays. Now, I want to preface, there are some good moments from working the holidays. Sometimes regulars are extra generous. They'll come in, they'll give you an extra tip, they'll slide you a couple more bucks. They can be very, very grateful and thankful for their time that they spent with you. And for those people, we say thank you. For those people, we say we hear you, we see you, and we appreciate you. For the rest of you, take note. It's the holiday season. We hate our lives 'cause it sucks so much and people are the worst. Okay. Let's start off with a story regarding Black Friday. This story is from someone who posted this a day ago. All right. It's about Black Friday. Now, this person calls it Black Week, which more and more times places now are doing their Black Friday sale either all week or like 2 weeks long. Sometimes places will do it the entire month of December, right? Black Friday has really morphed into its own new thing now because you can do a lot of it online. But this story comes from someone, and it is titled, "The Black Week Sale is Over. No expectations. Sheesh, I'm going crazy." I work as a store manager for a Norwegian homeware chain. Our Black Week sale started November 14th and ran through December 1st, Cyber Monday. The main offer was 30% off everything, with a few exception products. We also had higher discounts on many items. Today is day 3 after the Black Week sale ended, and the number of people that get upset because the sale is over and whatever thereafter is full price is staggering. But wasn't there a discount? Let me try a voice for this one. But wasn't there a discount on this last week? Is a sentence I've heard numerous times daily times this week. Yes, there was. It ended Monday. It is over. Can't you make an exception and give me the discount price since I missed the sale? No, not happening. The sale ran for more than 2 weeks. It's not my fault you didn't manage to get to the store or place an order online while the sale was still on. People, if there is a sale going on, this isn't a new concept. You know when Black Friday is. You know when Cyber Monday is. You know when Christmas is. These dates, though the days may change for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you know when they take place. The Friday after Thanksgiving and the Monday after Thanksgiving. That is not a new concept. Because of this, you should be aware of when sales take place. They are going to take place in that time frame. If they are taking place in that time frame, maybe get the thing during that time frame. I see too often that people want exceptions made to them because they weren't paying attention or they lost track of time. If the answer is no, you gotta take the no. You gotta take the L on this one, friend. You gotta do it. And remember for next time, I absolutely guarantee you that this will not be the last time that thing is on sale. Do you need it right now? And if you are planning to get it as a gift, oops, sorry. I think far too often we expect customer service workers to work around our mess ups, right? When we mess up, we expect a customer service employee to fix it for us. As customer service people, our job is to help as much as we can. But our job is not to fix something that is your fault. And I don't want to make it this whole big thing about like, oh, deal with it. We want to be helpful, but only to the extent of what is outlined for us to be able to help you with. Next story. This story comes from r/tales from your server, and it is titled, "I just quit because I don't have it in me to work another holiday season. Sound familiar, doesn't it? This is a bit of a rant more than anything, but I'll try to keep it brief. Too many years of working customer service jobs of various kinds has killed my love of the Christmas season. The music constantly, the sales, the irritated customers, the bad hours. After our usual casual restaurant started decorating November 1st and started pushing all kinds of sales, not just of food, but of gift cards, merchandise, and charity items, I noticed the stress level of everyone going up. I began to feel more and more anxious. When they started talking about how the best sections wouldn't be given to the people with the most seniority or the most positive feedback or the most requested or the highest tickets or most upsells, but to whoever sold the most gift cards, something inside me broke. I hate being sold something I don't want. I hate solicitors. I hate going to Target and having people try to sell me DirecTV packages while I'm just there for milk. I wait on people the way I want to be treated. And on top of that, every restaurant I've worked has another issue. All the college kids want to come back during their break and make money. So either hours are cut or you work the same hours with more people on and you make less money anyway. And yet, ironically, asking for time off doesn't work out well because there are so many blackout dates. Last place I worked, you would be fired, even with a doctor's note, if you were out between December 21st and December 24th or 26th to the 31st. I looked at my savings and realized it would mean more for my mental health to just quit. I turned in my notice. Too many years in a row, I've dreaded December when it used to be my favorite time of year. It's time to enjoy it again. Now this, I'm sure, hits a lot close to home for people, this story, because it does really feel like December is supposed to be this time for magic and for joy. But working in retail, working in customer service in general, makes it feel like you don't have any time to enjoy that. And it's not just because of the hours, like this person mentions. It is crazy, the hours that people have to work just to get through. And it's the same with having those blackout dates. There are places that do not allow you to take any time off between the holiday seasons. And the only reason they do that is to make it easier on the managers for scheduling. That's it. And it's a shame. It really is a shame, because what they're saying is that you don't deserve the time to spend with friends, family. If you have to travel somewhere to see your family, not everyone lives within the same area as their family. If you want to see your family, too bad. If you want to go and enjoy Christmas with your family, oh well, other people can do that, but you can't, because you have to stay here and sell things. I think that concept does destroy the feeling of Christmas for a lot of people. And I think why everyone is so tense during the holidays is because you have customers who are stressed because they are trying to get things done on time. Then you have employees who are stressed because they're overworked, underpaid, and now they don't get to go enjoy the holiday season with their family. It is a recipe for disaster. No wonder it has all taken a turn for the worst. You know? If everyone was just a little more reasonable, if everyone just took a little more time to think about what the season is supposed to feel like and how it's supposed to make us be as a society, as a community, we'd all be enjoying ourselves so much more. Now, I'm Jewish, so the Christmas season to me has always been, it's fun and lights and Santa and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I'll work around that time because I don't technically have to go home to see my family. I usually see them for Thanksgiving time. So I get it if there's people who need to go out of town and like I can cover some shifts. I was able to do that just fine. And I think if there's places that have blackout dates, think about why. Is it really going to make your business more productive to have people not able to see their families? Is it going to really make your employees happier? Is it going to make them better employees? Because statistically, it will show that it doesn't. You might have an easier time scheduling. You as a manager might have less you have to do, but it's not going to make your employees better employees by making them have to stay and not able to go see their families. I think that is just silly. And so does this person, because they quit. And it is sad when in customer service, you feel like the only way to gain sanity back is to quit. Because that comes from a place of not being able to talk with management. It does. If you don't have the ability to go and talk with management, to feel comfortable to have them help you, you just quit. And that makes for bad employee retention, right? It's just a shame. It's unfortunate. And the holidays are supposed to bring out the best in all of us. For some reason, it makes us all turn into gremlins that get fed after midnight. Oh, I need my gifts. Gifts. Also, what is it about gift cards? What this whole story has to do with gift cards? How you will not, you're actually punished. It's the same thing in the retail. That if you don't get your name said enough, you get the short end of the stick. If you don't sell enough gift cards, you get the bad sections and less hours. What in the backwards thinking is this? I don't understand. I'll take a sip for you. Lord help us. Lord, bring us into the light this Christmas. Okay, this story comes from r/retailhell and is titled, "Is retail always this bad during the holidays?" Spoiler alert. Yes, it is. I just had a customer, about 45, female 45, throw a tantrum because she was attempting to return multiple items valued around $190 that scanned in as a late return from September. Our return policy is 30 days normally, and during holidays, the return policy goes up to a generous 90 days. This customer had purchased her items well before the holiday policy took effect, and when I gave her the news that the items weren't returnable, she started to become hysterical. She slammed her hands and keys on the table and said, "This is unbelievable. I spend so much with you guys, and I can't believe you won't give me my money back." And after some deliberation, I had decided on going through to see which other items could be returned. I was able to return a single item that wasn't a late return. By the end of the situation, I had given up. I was supposed to go to lunch, and she wasn't taking no for an answer. So I had calmly, to the best of my ability, let her know that it's her responsibility to adhere to the printed or emailed return policy attached to her receipt. She had then went on to claim that my manager had written her name down on a list which allows you to make returns no matter the time, which is frankly such a sad lack of accountability. My manager is strict and not in a negative way. She adheres to rules set by the company, and we all follow the rules. This customer lied about my manager and is likely to leave a distressful review for our store. We are also the top performing store in our district, and it's frustrating to see one bad apple spoil the bunch. Here's the thing about you as a guest, okay? You as a customer go to a place and you want to get something, a service, you want to buy a thing, you want to eat a meal, okay? This happens all the time. If we let you do something just once that is against the policy, let's say this woman comes in, asks to return these things, it's against the policy, and just because they're throwing a stink, this person decides to just refund them. Guess what happens? Guess what happens if that were to happen? She's going to come do it again and again and again and again and again. And you know what she's going to say? Well, they did it for me last time, so I don't see why you can't do it for me now. Oh, they got this. I did it last time. Are you telling me that they were wrong? That I can't do it again? That's ridiculous. You've done it for me before. That is why we don't do it. Because if we do it for you once, you're going to expect us to do it again and again and again and again. And then if we do it for you and not for someone else, what does that say? I think people think that they are exceptions to the rule. People think that, oh, this thing doesn't apply to me because I spend a lot of money here. This thing doesn't apply to me because I come in all the time. Policies are in place for a reason. The reason is so that you don't have free reign to just do whatever you want in returns with, like, let's say you have a meal and you come in and every time, this happens all the time. You have a meal and every time you complain and you send it back and you get a new thing. You eat half of it and then you get a new thing. There are people who will come in and do that every time. And it's because they want to get comped. There are guests who will come in and complain about the same item every time, and yet they'll still get it. And why? Because they expect it to be comped or discounted for them because it's wrong. This happens because we end up allowing it to happen. Because we want to be good customer service representatives. We want to be good servers. We want to be good retail associates. We want to be able to help you. And we do it once, and then you're always going to expect it to be done again and again and again. If you get mad at us because we do not do this based off of our policy, it's because we don't want you coming back and swindling us again and again and again. Also, what is it about people who are of an appropriate age to be throwing tantrums? Why is that okay? Didn't we teach ourselves, weren't we taught that how to not get your way is by throwing a tantrum? Didn't we learn that? We can't throw a tantrum and expect to get what we want? Well, I hope some of us learned that. It turns out some of us didn't learn that. But I think people don't realize it is so easy to somehow get to an agreement to get what you want. It is so easy to do. And I'm going to walk you through it right now. Here are the steps. You come in. Let's say you have an item. Let's say you bought something and it's past the return policy. All right. You come in and you say, hey, I know it's past the return policy, but I have the receipt here. Is there anything you can do? The person at the front may be like, I don't know. It does say it on the thing. You'd be like, totally understand. If there's anything I could do, that'd be awesome. If not, I totally understand. Guess what? Half the time, if not more, they will make something work for you. Just because you were nice about it. Being nice, being courteous, being enjoyable, and speaking with kindness does so much more for you and the person you're talking to than if you throw a tantrum. I don't know where this tantrum throwing came from people to think that that is the way to get things. I don't know where it came from. The internet, probably. I promise you, if you want something and you know you probably are in the wrong, if you are just as sweet as can be, someone might be able to help you. Just try it. I implore you to try it. I don't even think those people are listening to this podcast, so maybe it's going on deaf ears and we'll all just cry about it. This next story comes from r/retailhell. The worst thing my boss ever said to me. I was on Reddit and a post popped up asking, what's something that is traumatizing but most people gloss over? And one person commented, toxic work environments. So we're going to take a pause for a second and move from bad customers to bad employers. I know we touched on it a little, but here we go. This got me thinking about my old boss at a department store. She was a classic, horrible boss. Favoritism, retaliation, the whole 9 yards. But I just wanted to focus on a conversation we had because, looking back, it still makes me sick. Some context is I reported her to our ethics line, and all of a sudden, I'm barely scheduled, and I'm supposed to be full-time. I'm speaking with her in tears. I was just changing medication at the time, and my emotions were raw. I told her, with you cutting my hours like this, I won't be able to get health insurance. You had to work a minimum amount of hours to keep health insurance, which, by the way, in America, where I live, that is a thing, and it sucks. It sucks. I know we all deal with it because we have to. I know we all deal with it because that is the standard here, but it sucks. It sucks that in order to get health insurance, sometimes you have to work a job that you hate. Sometimes you have to be forced to stay in a position that you despise and that causes you probably more mental and physical strain that is therefore leading to your health problems. And if you don't have enough hours or the policy, whatever it is, to get you health insurance, then you're just shit out of luck. I digress. So she says, with you cutting my hours like this, I won't be able to get health insurance. To which she responded, I don't care. I'm not your healthcare provider. She sat up so proud of herself like she's some sort of big boss. Even if my hours were cut due to business needs, just pretend to have some compassion. I no longer work there. Honestly, the health insurance was one of the main things keeping me there. Now I work in another retail space, which has great insurance and management. Just wanted to share. If you have a boss like this, I know reasons for staying, but damn, looking back, it was so bad. And that's the unhealthy cycle. That is the cycle of, I need this job because of my health insurance. If I don't work enough hours here, I don't get my health insurance. My boss is the worst. It makes me feel terrible. I hate going into work. My health is declining. I tell my boss this. My boss cuts my hours. Therefore, oh no, my health insurance is going to go away, which I desperately need now because I work for a place that I hate. And it just goes and goes in this little circle, in this little tiny circle that we all live in. I think a big part of me starting this podcast was obviously a place that we can all vent about these things. We can all let it all out because most of the time we have all experienced something like this. We've all experienced these things. And I think the more we talk about it, the more we normalize this, the more we can be empathetic. We can be compassionate to each other. We can give each other more patience and grace. And I think that is okay. And I think if we all just understand that, maybe the world can be a little bit of a better place. That's going to sound really cheesy, and it might not work, but we might as well try. And it's also very schadenfreude for us to be able to laugh about this kind of stuff because we have all experienced it. Maybe not all of us. Again, there's some of you out there that it's very clear you've never worked in customer service because you're the people who act like this in these stories. It's the same with the bosses in these sort of situations who think that they're given one little shred of power, therefore they can just run with it and it makes them feel good for some reason. In reality, we all have to do these things. We all have to be in these situations that might be uncomfortable. So let's just talk about him. Let's get it out there. Let's air it all out because this is what is going to heal us. We need to be healed. Also, we can laugh about it. A lot of the times in these situations, it takes a little bit to get to the point to laugh about it because some of them are really traumatic. I mean, I think I've cried in every workplace that I've ever worked. I've shed a tear in a dry storage. I have cried in a walk-in freezer. Go into the shoes. Go cry in the shoes. I've cried everywhere I've worked. It is gonna happen. So, let's laugh about it now. It's the time. It's okay. We can laugh about it now. I think also what's good about reading these stories is to know, like, it's for all of us to be aware. People like this exist. Customers like this exist. Customers like this exist. Employers like this exist. Places of business like this exist. Have higher standards, people. I know our generation is called lazy and entitled, but a lot of us feel like even if we put in the work and the effort, we aren't getting the same output for our effort. And we feel as though we need a little bit more respect as well. Okay. Maybe that's a really Gisenial thing of me to say, but I said it. Okay, here's a good one. So this is just in the comment section of that last post. So I'm going to just give it a quick read here. Reminds me of my short 4 months at McDonald's. I'd worked the front counter and my hours were supposed to be at most 40 hours during the lunch and dinner if I needed. But I was immediately thrown into the breakfast shift without any knowledge of the breakfast menu because I was told you won't be working the breakfast shift. I thought I was only scheduled to work breakfast until the GM came back from her business trip. At least that's what the assistant manager told me. Everyone who worked there were either friends or family members of the GM. And nope, I was scheduled for breakfast during the weekdays and only lunch or dinner during the weekends only. When I asked for a change because I didn't agree to work 12 hours and only agreed to 8 due to my college classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays while using my days off to handle homework, GM smugly says, "You're a college student. You should find time to handle your homework like my son." Then they started calling me in on my days off with the "we're really understaffed, can you come work for a few hours" BS of an excuse. I left after 4 months because I was exhausted and starting to fall behind in my classes along with homework, even if I ignored the calls they'd be giving me death glares for denying the extra shifts, because when they needed me for a few hours, they actually wanted me to work until my shift ended at 5 p.m. due to my usual shift being from 5 a.m. to 5 a.m., and I looked like a sleep-deprived zombie. Isn't it ironic that someone could be going to school to get an education so that they can continue to be a better employee and worker for the future in whatever field they choose, but they're actually like doing something for their education, and then they're berated at their job to be like, you should manage your time better. Ah! Employers, please Help us to help you. Help us to help you. It's like it's looking us right in the face. No, I didn't get a degree in business, but I can look at a thing and go, yeah, like that's going to be useful. Like that's going to be helpful to anybody. What a mess. What a mess. We're going to end with this story / slice of advice. R/retail hell. New to retail and starting in December. Send help? ? Girly will try. I just got hired at a retail shoe store and I start in December. My friend who works in retail keeps saying the holiday season is a total nightmare and definitely not for the weak. True. Since I'm new to this, what's it actually like? And why do so many retail workers dread Christmas or other busy holidays? Any tips would really help. So I'm just going to read 2 of these here. This person says, it's not insane at every single store, but big box stores like Walmart, Target, Best Buy get fairly packed due to selling a large variety of items that people really want. Grocery stores are the worst because people are buying holiday / regular food plus their gifts and extra home shopping. Oh, and because it's winter / holiday season, more people call in sick. Big shocker. So, more people, more requests, and more running around. When there's less staff, that's where some exaggerations of the holiday rush, being hell, comes from. Also, some of us are just disgusted / annoyed by seeing the same things being heavily sought after by the 20th person that day. Repetition. Yes, this item is in this aisle. No, we don't have any more. Sorry. When you do work and encounter those busier days, just think of it as being more people than what you're normally used to seeing. Getting through each customer one at a time, because that's all you can do. I remember my first year and the rush we encountered during holidays. I did feel overwhelmed, so don't feel bad if you need to step away and take a breather. So true, king. It is okay to ask for a break. You might have a manager that is like, ugh. Well, what are they going to do? Fire you? No, they need you. They need you during the holiday season. So if you need to take a rest, take a rest. If you need to sit and get some water for a second, sit and get some water. It is okay. You are a human being. It's all right. So some tips. Take each customer one at a time and ignore any lineups you do see. You will get to those people eventually. If feeling overwhelmed, step away. If there's someone to cover you, bring a small snack if you get shaky or weak easily when it comes to stress or burning energy. Bring a water bottle to keep with you, either attached to your belt if you're working the sales floor or with you at the counter if you're a cashier. Mental energy spent is just as tiring on the body as a long day of physical labor. Remember to do something fun, relaxing when you get home. Yeah, go home. Have a hot chocolate, smoke a little weed. If it's legal. It is here, so don't come for me. Customers being angrier and pushier the closer it gets to the holidays. They're unreasonably angry over things that are out of our control. For example, every year on Thanksgiving, I am routinely and loudly cursed out because we sold out of some common Thanksgiving items. And guess who isn't in charge of ordering? Us. We do not purposefully withhold items from you. Do not get mad at us if it's not there anymore. No, it is not in the back. Obviously, the things they complain about will vary depending on what type of store you work at. But overall, take all of the negative stereotypes you've heard about customers and quadruple them. You need to breathe and take it moment by moment. You'll need to understand that it's not personal and none of it is a shot at you specifically. Also, not every customer is a monster. It's just the ones who are really bad tend to overshadow the rest. That is something that's very true too. A guest who's mean or rude or cruel, that can affect your whole day. That's what they want. Do not give people that power. Okay? Like Seth said on episode 1, put those people off to the side and focus on the people that are treating you right, and you will have a much better day. Yes. During this season, my friends in the customer service industry, just remember to take care of yourselves. I'm someone who tends to overwork myself as well during this time of year. We need the money. We need to get through it so that we can do the fun stuff, so we could go see family, so we could spend time with friends. Don't forget that life is more than your job. I'm going to say that again, very slowly into the mic. Life is more than your job. During the holidays, we get very wrapped up. We get very wrapped up, no pun intended, with all of the crazy things. And that's part of it, right? We're supposed to feel the chaos before the calm. Don't let the chaos break you. You are worthy, no matter where you work. You are important, no matter where you work. And you are needed. The reason why hours get crazy, the reason why there are blackout dates, is because in truth, these jobs, these managers need you more than you need them during this time of year. They need you because you're the one who is taking the brunt of the work. Get that extra money, work those extra hours, but do not put those in place of taking care of yourself. Here's to all of you guys. Thank you for joining me today for some of these stories. Again, if you would like to submit your own personal story of a crazy thing you've had working in customer service, whether it was at a location that you worked, was from a manager or boss you worked for, or from a crazy customer, or someone you worked with, because we haven't even touched really on those stories yet. Please email them to us. I would love to be able to share them in my next Sip and Spill. Thank you for joining me today, and let's continue to laugh through these stories together. Because, in truth, that's really all we can do. We'll see you on the next one. Holidays? We'll be happy eventually. Bye!